Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We are still going through the front pages of the paper and we're going to go through the Punch.
Yeah.
So who has what story?
I have the major headline, the flooding story. So the federal government yesterday said no fewer than 10 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, had earlier experienced various degrees of flooding or recorded casualties as the rains intensified. And the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, dropped a red alert during the press briefing in Abuja and is warning that 21 more states might suffer flooding. He said that, against the background of what happened on Wednesday, which grounded businesses and commercial activities in Lagos and also Ogun State. He says the resulting flooding brought down a 2-story building in the Mushin area of Lagos. Wow. I highlighted that yesterday, and overwhelmed residents. People weren't able to attend schools in different parts of the state. Also, a child was swept away by the flooding in Ketu area of Lagos. Very sad story. And he says the flood outlook by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency that was released in April had predicted that 148 local government areas in 31 states fell within the high flood risk and areas. And the affected states included Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina and Kebbi, also Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Oshun, Oyo, Plateau, Sokoto, Taraba, and Yobe. So I'm wondering what's which other state? When you That's all. Which other one is left? Now he's warning that cholera might spread further, yes, because of the flooding that's going on, and he's advising that people need to do what they need to do to be able to protect themselves. We talked about flooding yesterday and how we also expect the other agencies, aside from this particular one that talks about the rain, to also come out and support, so that we have seamlessness of movement on the streets. As the cars are parking, we have the last mile people towing, removing the cars, even clearing the road. Because
the traffic people blocked the road, because one side was blocked due to flooding. The next day, everybody just moved to the next way, and it was locked jam. But imagine if they were not last month, because this is express, it might be FRSC on that road. It would have created a bit of ease of that traffic. It wouldn't have been a complete lockdown, So I think that's very good.
Nigerians should also help ourselves and have common sense. Like if one person moves, the other person can move.
Problems. So
all right. So who has the good news about Nigeria to host?
I have the good news. Today I picked out the good news. Nigeria has been granted the hosting rights for the $5 billion African Energy Bank. The federal government announced on Thursday. It said the right was granted during a virtual extraordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, adding that with the hosting rights, the bank would have its headquarters in Nigeria.
Awesome.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Senator Hennikin, who announced this in Abuja, said Nigeria emerged as the preferred host nation and stiff competition from Ghana, Benin, Algeria, South Africa, and Cote d'Ivoire. He also said that they want to especially thank the president, who gave the full support to ensure that they get to this point where APPO has given them the hosting rights. He said that the biggest challenge that we have in Africa as oil-producing countries is funding. And so a short while ago, the Council of Ministers held a meeting and said that the time has come for Africans to find solutions to financing its own oil and gas investments, which is good. Based on that was how this idea was formed. He finally ended by saying that the president who approved the $100 million investment fund for Nigeria for Class A shares in the proposed African Energy Bank, as announced by the Federal Minister of Petroleum Resources at that time, also ensured in them winning this bid was to be able to host it. And so it's going to create jobs, it's going to open up and give more fundings to, and help the local content regulation. So that's really good. I like that.
Okay, so I have the story of the LASMA officer who was killed recently. They said the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja on Thursday convicted and sentenced the commercial bus driver Elijah Shokoya to 12 years imprisonment for killing an officer of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency. They said they convicted of knocking down Akimade, that's the name of the LASMA guy, with a blue and black Opel Space bus with number plate AAA74GG while controlling traffic, and he suffered injuries to his head and body. They said the incident occurred at Demury Street Junction, Inward Mile 12. And this is stated that the offence contravened Section 224 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015 and is punishable under Section 229. Justice Oyim Damola Ogala sentenced Shokoya after finding him guilty of the offence of manslaughter. I think the last
that goes out to the last official.
Yeah.
I know it is
the way they even jump into cars, the way they run after cars, they need to
even at that, because sometimes we don't listen to them. People don't listen to them, and whichever way, nobody should die in the line of their duty, and their duty is to serve serve us, because I didn't want asking them to enter in and start clearing traffic for us now.
And they will not listen when they say stop,
and they will not
we must share the responsibility. I want to quickly take the story about NNPC disagreeing to the report that says our petrol debt has risen to $6 billion. Usually, the NNPC would the tenders would be released for NNPC importation of petrol. And they said that we've been owing money, that the claims says that traders are no longer even willing to take tenders for petrol, that there was a report that as at earlier in the year, January, there were reports that there were late payments. I remember we had a bit of scarcity at a point in time, and they said it was because they had not paid. So right now they said what is being owed has gotten to $6 billion, and that the only reason traders are putting up with the fact that they are being owed money is because there is a fine that for every month you delay payment, you will pay £250,000 for late cargo payment compensation. So they feel like, okay, if you are owing me money and every month you are paying $250,000, then I can still manage. But some people said that their threshold for debt to Nigeria has been hit, so they are no longer giving Nigeria petrol. When the Punch reporter reached out to the NNPC spokesperson, Olufemi Shoneye described it as false, and that he's challenging the people speaking about this to come out and list the names of marketers that they are supposedly owing money. We recollect that because we now have like a free flow economy, it's supposed to be price going up and down, but people had complained that they cannot afford the petrol just going up and down. So the NNPC has capped it, and thereby putting a sort of like limit to what can be sold. Free markets is not free markets. That's really just free. It. So there's a lot of unspoken things that I'm sure if they dig deep, we will find things we don't want to see. Moving on to Sun. I just don't want to feel scarcity. We're already dealing with plenty of things as it is. Daily Sun, major headline. Tinubu seeks Dangote, Elumelu, others help. Urge them to rescue Nigeria from economic stagnation. Unveils 2 trillion stabilization fund. And NNPC to establish 3 CNG station, 100 sites. In other news, Rivers coalition kicks as court reinstates pro-Wike lawmakers. Expect more river flooding. Federal government alerts states and local government. Edo, we've taken that story about court voiding the PDP primary. Nigeria gets hosting rights, taking that story as well. Industrialization. Southeast governors, business leaders meet to partner Ohaneze on investments and hold federal government responsible for another strike in varsity from ASU. Many fear dead in 2-story building collapse in Anambra Market. What story are we taking first?
Okay, so the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has called on Nigerians, especially parents and students, to hold the federal government responsible if there's another round of strike declared in the public universities. They also said despite a series of promises made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address their demands, nothing has come out of it until today. And they are making a call. So they protested. They had a rally by the University of Lagos branch union, which also attracted support of other university students who, had a different placards, writing different inscriptions on it, saying that they need the federal government to do something and, listen to their lecturers so that they can go back to school. And they need Nigerians also to intervene before it's too late. So this is more like a call to even parents to say that if we close schools, then again, it's the federal government, it's not because we don't want to work, it's because we've had series of unfulfilled promises from the side of the government. They said they've started this discussion and letters back and forth since 2009, and the government has still remained insensitive to their demands. I want to quote something. It says, the struggle is not only for the ASU, but also for the university system. We no longer trust politicians. They promised and failed to fulfill. Don't blame the union for another strike. Hold the federal government responsible. Said they've been writing series of letters back and forth. I started comparing the salaries that National Assembly members are paid compared to what professors and university lecturers are paid. Say it doesn't make sense at all. The government needs to do something before they close down again.
All right. So what has the industrialization story?
So Southeast Governors Forum, SEGF, and the Business Committee of Ahanes Worldwide are to unveil investment and industrialization plans for the region. Chief of the SEGF and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, disclosed this during a consultative meeting with members of the Ohaneze Ndibu Council of Igbo Business Leaders in Owerri, Imo State. The governor, who said that his state is ready for business and eager to receive investors with the requisite know-how and technology in gas exploration, said the move was aimed at making the zone investment haven. He also declared that the lofty objectives of the council, which include to identify young Igbo entrepreneurs and groom them towards mega business ventures, instituting a united and credible voice, capable of speaking for the business community in Igbo land, liaising with international, national, regional, and state agencies with a view of creating an enabling and conducive environment for investments in Igbo land, were endorsed by the forum. I like where this is going, because with everything going on in the southeast and stuff, this is a good one to encourage because the Igbos are in different parts of Nigeria, and they are helping the economy of other regions. To be nice to come back home and help the economy within the south.
Yeah, let's move on to Nigerian Tribune. Major headline: court verdict unsettled the Edo PDP Rivers politics. And we have other stories. I'm trying to find what we haven't taken already. Ekiti State rates highest in 2023 IGR collection. Who has that story? And then Oyoban's vigil and late night church. Who has the Ekiti State?
I have
story?
Ekiti. No, my mom is from Ekiti.
Okay. So you had to take that.
Let me hype them today. So Ekiti State has emerged top in proved internally generated revenue among the 36 states of the Federation, according to a recent report released during the week. In the report, say it was circulated by the Joint Tax Board, JTB, and they had the 155th meeting at Zuma Rock Resort in Niger State. They said Ekiti ranked first in the 2023 annual growth rate ranking. The IGR increased from 17.03 billion in 2022 to 29.82 billion in 2023. That's a huge one, representing a 75% growth rate. So they said the improvement is attributed to enhanced reporting and significant growth in the IGR by the state. There's also good performance of the governor, Biodun Yebanji. They said also, I think they were able to still get a lot of taxpayers back into the net. They volunteered themselves to, pay the taxes, and that also was what moved it up. So they moved up from the 16th position to...
That's a huge leap.
I'm telling
Very
you,
huge.
well done, Ekiti
Well
State.
done, yes.
You said you have the story on...
No, the JAM, the JAM uncovers 3,000 fake students, 3,000 fake graduates, people using illegal certificates all over. Yes, so they said that people that they keep telling universities, educational institutions to stop admitting people, that if you're not on the platform, the CAP platform on their portal, then you do not have an admission. So we need to be wary about people we're employing.
I know you took the story. Yeah. You took the... they said they banned vigil in Oyo State.
Yes.
That
Church vigil.
Church vigil because of kidnapping and all of that.
Right.
Please let us pray in our house.
Yes.
God answers prayers everywhere. With that, we've come to the end of Front Page Review. When we return, we're going to the hot topic for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.